Is he still alive?
He was when Olga brought him in. I've checked everything, including the genome data, but there's nothing on this guy.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. Last time, Donald attempted to input a virus to an AI and save Emma, but failed on both due to the story. And we're immediately starting off with a cutscene, so let's just get into it.
I suspected as much. However, I know this man. Wake him up.
This is just like that torture sequence from before. I hope you don't have to press the button a lot like I did.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Jack the Ripper?
Ha, that's an unusual nickname. Have we heard that before in this game yet?
Don't think so.
Know this fellow?
You remember me, don't you? You've grown.
Okay, yeah, I'm definitely pressing the button here. It's not all that bad, but it's certainly here again.
Me too. This is my son. I taught him everything.
I'm not gonna lie, he looks pretty good.
I don't think that was the intended takeaway of this scene, Joe.
Probably not, but if Emma's gone, I have someone else to riz up.
Jack, I never thought I'd see you again.
You know me?
You don't remember. Your name, your skills. Everything you know, you learned from me.
Oh, it's another plot twist.
The 80s. A civil war. You were one of the best among the child soldiers that fought in that conflict. When you were barely 10 years old, you became the platoon leader of the small boy unit. At the time, your outstanding kill record earned you several nicknames, including White Devil and Jack the Ripper.
Wow, this is quite the backstory. I don't think Raiden has mentioned anything even close to this anywhere else in the game, so this is a lot to take in.
To be fair to him, it's probably not just something he introduces himself with when he meets someone.
What happened to you? I should have known they would recruit you.
It's an interesting coincidence.
If he's a lackey for the Patriots, I doubt he knows anything of interest.
What should we do with him?
We'll use him like you suggested.
I'm glad Raiden is very strategically censored in these scenes.
I could go either way.
Happening again?
Could it be that he's here too?
Does Liquid Snake's arm really have a mind of its own?
In another hour, we demonstrate the power of Arsenal gear.
Attack with standard weapons, of course.
Yes, proceed as planned.
At last report, all is well with GW.
How about the troops?
The men are being refitted with Arsenal gear equipment as ordered. You're the spitting image of Big Boss.
I can't imagine the resemblance would be a coincidence.
Is that so? Perhaps I should be grateful to this kid for that.
What does that mean? How is Raiden involved in Solidus looking like Big Boss exactly?
Based on the video length we have, over half an hour to find out.
This situation, I find it very nostalgic. Where am I? Why, inside Arsenal gear, of course. Actually, we're also inside the memory of Shadow Moses.
Half the game has been referencing things that happened on Shadow Moses Island, so that's not saying a lot.
I'll take this back. You don't need this anymore, do you? A foul wind is blowing. We shall speak again.
Don't move. Stay as you are. We're being monitored by a camera.
What are you up to?
I'm switching over to nanocommunication.
Does everyone just have this technology to use the codec? It seems pretty common with everyone in the game.
Mr. X? Ninja?
Correct. It's me.
Real. I thought you were the leader of the Russian troops.
No, that was just a smokescreen.
A smokescreen?
I was sent to provide you support.
Support? Who sent you? The Colonel?
No, the Patriots.
What?
I deceived my troops, betrayed them.
But why?
My child is being held hostage by the Patriots.
That is a compelling reason to do what someone else wants. I wonder if we're ever going to meet up with her kid on one of these missions. Probably not, though.
Oh, so we joined forces with an illegal Russian organization.
The Russian mafia?
Something like that, actually. I learned much later that it was a subordinate organization of the Patriots. I was expecting at the time. When I gave birth to my child, it turned out I was in a hospital run by the Patriots. In the morning, my child was gone. My baby is being kept somewhere in this country.
So she naturally suits up as a cyborg ninja. I'm not exactly seeing the connection here so far.
Photo of my child via network. I've never even held the child in my own arms.
I see. Given your situation, nobody can blame you for what you did.
That's your opinion.
What about Snake? I thought you were enemies.
He wasn't responsible for my father's death. Actually, we owe him our lives.
Did he save us? It's been a while. I don't remember him doing that. It was 7 parts ago in quite a few months, so maybe that's it.
So you were partners since the incident?
No, I only found out the truth shortly before this.
Huh?
When I confronted him here.
You fought with Snake? When?
Well, it was around the time you were holding hands with that girl.
Snake.
I never really thought about Raiden not knowing many of the details from the introduction of the game. Maybe he wasn't told all of it since he didn't know about her until just now.
Assist you. If Solidus gets away with Arsenal, your mission is a failure. The Patriots would judge that as failure on my part and terminate my child. Putting it simply, my child's life depends on your success.
So you did it all for your child. But why would the Patriots want to help me? Are they hoping I'll take Solidus out?
No, you're just like me. We're just pawns.
As if the stakes can't get higher, we have a child to worry about. What's next? Is the world going to blow up if I don't succeed?
Out sooner or later. But I wonder if you'll handle the truth.
What do you mean?
Listen, we haven't got time for this. Solidus will commence his attack any minute. He's got to be stopped.
What about the virus?
No results so far. I think the Patriots have tampered with the program.
Will it work?
I don't know.
Get me out of this thing.
Not yet. I'll release your restraints after I leave this room.
How is she supposed to release it from outside of the room? Raiden doesn't really have much of a choice here, but still.
Not sure, but for now we have to trust her.
The passageway ahead leads to a hangar. He'll be waiting there. I gave him a card key for the hangar.
Does Snake plan to destroy Arsenal gear?
No, even for Snake, it's impossible to completely destroy this thing. The only option is to stop Solidus and his men.
What are you going to do?
Stay concealed. That's my role. I still can't afford to be discovered.
We haven't been to this section, but this doesn't look like even the same structure as the big shell with those really wide open rooms. I wonder where we even are.
I think after the end of the last part, Raiden was brought to a different structure altogether, but there's no way to be sure without getting out of this room first. If she can free him soon, that would be nice.
Jack, are you all right?
Not a chance. Yeah.
Jack, is it true? What Solidus said?
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Drafting small children, sending them to war? It's not allowed under international conventions.
ICC rules don't mean a lot in war. Someone told me that there are over 300,000 children in combat right now.
So are child soldiers just an option for people in the game's world? That seems a little problematic. I mean, if it's effective, then fair enough, but seems like too early to start them fighting people.
But I have nightmares every day. Pieces of the past I can't put together.
Why didn't you tell me?
You couldn't begin to understand.
You wouldn't know that until you try me.
I didn't want you to get hurt. There was never a real reason for me to fight, except that someone put a gun in my hand. And that someone was him.
I don't think we can even come up with jokes or banter like we normally do. This is pretty serious and not like we can interject so often like we normally would.
I think I was only 6 when I held my first AK, but I'm not even sure of that.
Jack.
I'm not like Snake. I never questioned why we fought. There was no purpose, no way out. They give you a gun, you ask how many to kill. If you didn't, you were the one they shot instead.
It's okay. No one is blaming you.
We were shown Hollywood action films every day. The kind with macho guys and big guns. They call it image training.
I'm tempted to skip this scene just to see how the comments section would eviscerate the group, but for the sake of our channel, I won't.
We were fed once a day. I can still taste the gunpowder they mixed into the food.
Gunpowder? In the food?
The gunpowder had toluene in it, giving it hallucinogenic properties. It kept us drugged, controllable.
Oh my God!
When the Civil War ended, those of us who survived were taken in by NGOs. They gave me a new life in the States. I can't complain.
And here I was thinking Snake's backstory in the first game was sad and a bit much, but nothing like this.
Problem with my past have secrets and agendas of their own. Terrible nightmares every night. I can never forget.
Jack.
I'm afraid of the night. That's why I don't sleep next to you.
You should have told me.
Told you what? That I'm a killer and always have been?
No, no.
What I hate more than anything else in the world is my own past.
Even my stories of the past aren't this sad and depressing. I think I can hold off on telling any of mine until he's done.
Now I know why I was chosen for this mission. No one can take him on, take him down, except me. I've been kept alive this long for this. I knew as soon as I saw Solidus.
Jack, I love you the way you are now. You have to believe me.
This is just really sad. I don't know how else to put it.
I didn't know anything about you, I admit that. Where you were born, how you grew up. But I know that now. And I know that what I feel for you can only get better. And I'll share in your past if that's the price.
It doesn't work that way. No one can share the burden of what I've done. It's not one of those warm and fuzzy things couples share.
I accept the good and the bad, Jack. That's what you do for someone you love.
Donald, of all the times to mess with their pictures you choose right now.
I just want to forget about it.
Jack, I haven't told you, about what I've done.
The last 2 years with you, it's been more than I've ever hoped for.
Jack.
But I can't go any farther.
Does that mean Rose is available for me?
I know you want to get married.
I...
But I can't. I can't risk starting a family. There's no way to erase my childhood.
It's all right, Jack. Please, don't say any more.
What do you know she actually did let him out? I shouldn't have doubted her to begin with.
Guys, I know that was emotionally a lot all at once, but I need to focus on something really important here for a moment.
Thank you for completely stopping the game just to show us that, Donald, that was a very good use of our time. I expected that kind of thing out of Joe, but not as much you.
Yeah, that is something I would do. If only we were playing as Emma or Rose now, but I'll take Raiden at this point.
Do none of us really have anything to say about the past 13 minutes and are really just focused on naked Raiden? I mean, granted, it's a little hard to ignore, but there was a lot of story like Raiden's backstory, the S3 plan, and a lot else we haven't mentioned at all.
I'm just glad to get back to the gameplay at this point. I know I was playing around with the images while all that sad stuff was talked about, but I don't know what else to add for that.
I'm sure we'll have time to take it all in later today, unless something really crazy happens with the story that takes our attention away.
Raiden, do you copy? You must continue your mission.
I've lost all my gear. I need to locate Snake.
He was never factored into the simulation. Leave him out of this.
I can't do much naked, especially in this temperature.
That's true. You won't be able to attack or enter the hanging mode either.
I think Snake has my gear.
Raiden, take out Solidus and his men. You must recover Arsenal intact.
I think the Colonel had a weird connection issue at the start. Maybe that's just because of where Raiden is now.
That is, mission is to infiltrate the structure and disarm the terrorists.
My role? Why do you keep saying that?
Why not? This is a type of role-playing game. The point is that you play out your part, and I expect you to turn in a perfect performance.
It's actually a tactical espionage game, not a role-playing game, Colonel, also in case you haven't noticed with Donald's gameplay so far. His performance has been literally the furthest thing from perfect. The last few parts have been better, but still.
Okay, yeah, we get it by now, Barack. I'm not the best at the game. I'm still the superior gamer of the group.
We have Rosemary.
What do you mean by that?
Over and out.
Something definitely wrong is going on that isn't the connection. He could not have meant having Rose in a good way, but there's no reason for him to become antagonistic to Raiden now of all times.
Yeah, I'm at a loss right now. I have no idea what is going on with him. I mean, I've had suspicions since the first game, but nothing like this. I'm sure we'll get another call from him soon, and maybe he can explain things better.
That was faster than expected.
Raiden, turn the game console off right now.
What did you say?
The mission is a failure. Cut the power right now.
What's wrong with you?
Don't worry, it's a game. It's a game just like usual.
You'll ruin your eyes playing so close to the TV.
Don't do it, Donald. It's a trick.
Raiden, something happened to me last Thursday when I was driving home. I had a couple of miles to go. I looked up and saw a glowing orange object in the sky to the east. It was moving very irregularly. Suddenly, there was intense light all around me, and when I came to, I was home. What do you think happened to me?
Huh?
Fine. Forget it.
How am I supposed to know what happened to him? Like I was there and know what light he's talking about?
Honestly, though, you have played the game for a long time. Don't you have anything else to do with your time?
Hey, we have a lot to do with our time. I mean, sure, we spend most of it playing video games together when at least one of us at any given time is the current president, but isn't it ironic how a game character is saying that like he isn't part of it?
And what's with all of this weird green light structures around here? There shouldn't be anything like that in the game world since it just looks more like computer data or something like that. Guys, do you think the Colonel is actually an AI? It would explain why he's saying weird things that the real person wouldn't be saying.
That is quite the conclusion to come to, but I wouldn't be surprised if you are right on that. In fact, after a while, I've actually been noticing a lot of conversations between us are a little unusual and not always what we sound like.
What exactly do you mean by that?
I'm saying that just like Jordan may be correct on the Colonel being an AI, that we also might be AI reconstructions of the people we associate with.
That's insane. I mean, we can't all be fakes when we've spent so much time together, right?
Even my patience has its limits. I just can't leave this thing up to you any longer. I'll do the fighting. You can just go home.
I would love to see him come over here and do this mission as if he has any better chance. Not like I can just leave even if I wanted to go home. But what's that about us being AI? What would that mean for us?
If we all are actually AI, does that mean that none of my stories ever happened if I'm not the real Joe?
Joe, none of your stories happen, even if you were the real Joe, as they are often just other people's stories you've really badly remembered as happening to you. But Ben, please explain this idea of yours a bit more.
It would explain why we've all just had single images in the corner of videos while the gameplay happens is because they're just pictures to make it seem more like the person is actually talking because you can see our faces. It would also explain how some of our voices sound really unusual. It's because they're just audio files that are made from a script.
I think people just don't like your voice in particular, even if it was you based on many of the Daily Wire comment sections. But I think you might be right on this idea.
Infiltrate the enemy fortress. Outer heaven. Destroy the final weapon, Metal Gear.
Okay, that was just the beginning mission in probably the first MSX game and is not related to this.
I didn't know they could put game footage like that where the frequency would be.
Variety level 13. Rescue Meryl, the return of Ginola.
Guys, I think Ben is correct in his conclusion. We are not actually real people, but merely imitations of actual figures made for entertainment.
I hear it's amazing when the famous purple stuffed worm in Flapjaw Space with the tuning fork does a raw blink on Harry Carey Rock. I need scissors. 61.
I don't know if I can accept that I'm not real this whole time. Does that even mean my pet lizard Alejandro is fake too?
Unfortunately, yes.
Those were the same places Gray Fox was saying in that one violent room before his fight. This would mean more if we didn't have imitated responses to all this.
Actually, there is something I have been meaning to tell you, but I just couldn't. I think you should know, though. On Saturday morning last week, I saw a guy leaving Rosemary's room. How should I put it? It was like they were intimate. I'm sorry. Sorry to bring this up during the mission, but...
Don't let that get you down, Raiden. At least you're really there, unlike us.
Your mission is to infiltrate the Fortress Galluade, rescue the hostages, and neutralize Metal Gear before its assembly is complete.
What do our reactions even mean if they aren't real to begin with?
They might mean something to those watching us.
An anemone or clematis plant's juice can cause a rash. When pruning them, it's a good idea to wear gloves.
Thank you for that information, Colonel. I'm sure if we were real, we would definitely have amazing use of that knowledge.
I was a North American fall webworm in my past life. Those were the good old days. What were you in your former life?
I guess we don't have a past life if we aren't alive to begin with. I don't know why I'm accepting all of these calls.
Jack, it's me.
Hi, Rose.
Jack, I owe you an apology.
If it's about that conversation just now, I'm the one who's sorry.
No, it's something else.
What is it?
That day at Federal Hall 2 years ago, it wasn't a coincidence. I was ordered to keep an eye on you.
Keep an eye on me?
Yes, by the Patriots.
Once we have a minute away from all of these bizarre codec calls, we need to talk about the implications of us being AI. It explains so much and is a lot to process.
Are you still there?
Was sleeping with me a part of the job?
I fell in love with you.
How could anyone?
I can't excuse what I did. I've reported every detail of your personal life to them these 2 years. What you did, said, everything.
Must have been fun.
But some things I didn't tell anyone. Like what I felt for you.
So that's why you were involved in this mission. I should have known.
Typically, I'd make a joke about her being hired by the Democrats to spy on people, but what's even the point when I can't feel anything real?
It was wrong.
No matter where I go, I get used.
I reinvented myself to suit your tastes. Hairstyle, clothes, the way I moved, things I talked about. You say you love the color of my hair, my eyes. They're not even real.
You must have gone over my psych profile with a fine-tooth comb.
It was my job.
Great performance. Had me completely fooled.
I'm kind of skeptical she is even real based on how strange everything else has been. Unless it's right in front of Raiden, it's hard to accept, and even then there's a lot wrong with what is here.
It was worse to lie to myself than to you. The more love you gave me, the more it hurt. Because I knew the person you loved was just a character.
So it was artificial on my end too. It was just a game, not the real thing.
Oh, Jack.
It seems more than just their relationship is artificial. Our whole lives together playing games aren't even real when we thought they were.
I was, with someone who didn't exist. I was trying to be someone I wasn't by loving what wasn't real. I don't know who you really are. The person I knew isn't real. She's not the woman I'm talking to right now. In a sense, the deception was my own, not theirs.
Jack, I thought I was acting because that was my job. But I did fall in love with you. That wasn't an act.
You expect me to believe that?
Is there really no better place to have this conversation? Seems like an odd time to bring all of this up.
I understand, but I have nothing left to...
Jack!
What?
I'm carrying... I'm pregnant, Jack.
Rose! What's going on?
You might want to go on Maury just in case the Colonel's story about the guy was true.
Amazing how you walk around like that.
Snake!
Been waiting long?
Where's my gear?
Right over there.
That was nice of him and the gear to just materialize. Not sure why we didn't see them before when Donald checked the whole room.
That's more like it. Everything you had when you were captured is still there.
He's probably going to have his own codec call, but at least we know he's here, so there's some level of truth to his existence, unlike Rose and the Colonel.
Sorry about earlier. I had to use you as bait to gain access to Arsenal. It worked.
Why didn't you tell me about Olga?
You never asked. Not happy about that? Get over it.
Any effects of the virus yet?
Still waiting on that.
So, it was rigged by the Patriots?
Looks like it. From what I can tell, Arsenal is headed for Manhattan.
Did the game ever establish where the big shell and Arsenal gear take place relative to the rest of the world? I never thought about it.
Ray's ahead.
How many units?
25, according to Olga.
25?
Yeah. Can't say I've faced that many Metal Gears before, but I think we can deal.
No way we can.
We can, because we have no other choice.
How?
I've stocked up on Stinger missiles. Oh yeah, Olga left this for you.
I swear if I have to fight 25 Metal Gear Rays, I'm jumping off this place and the Colonel can do it himself.
Wouldn't be the first time you've made Raiden jump into the ocean.
Why? Olga asked me to give it to you. Besides, I'm not a big fan of blades.
Another mechanic this far into the game seems late to introduce a new weapon.
Move the right stick up and down to make a vertical slice, and left and right to slice parallel to the ground. Move the stick in a circle to do a rotating cut. Push it forward to lunge and strike. You can guard with your blade if you have the L1 button pressed down. You should be able to deflect a bullet or two.
Yeah, this is a weird time, but it's also really interesting to have a close-ranged weapon rather than another firearm, so maybe this will be better for you.
All right, guys, I need some time to focus if I want to master this weapon.
Okay, Donald, have you mastered it yet, or is Snake going to kill you first?
I was distracted by thinking about myself again, but this time I've got it.
Damn, kid.
It's time to move on before something bad happens to you. I'm sure you'll get enough time to use the sword before the game is over.
I doubt there's that much to the game left, though.
Come on, time to go. If you run out of ammo, you can have mine.
You got enough?
Absolutely. Infinite ammo.
So he just has infinite ammo this whole time. How would you even explain that in the game world's context?
As long as he can help us, I don't really care how.
Snake, have you ever enjoyed killing someone?
What are you talking about?
I'm not sure. Sometimes it's hard to tell the difference between reality and a game.
Diminished sense of reality, huh? VR training will do that.
No, it was field training when I was a kid. I lied, Snake. I have more field experience than I can remember. It's not VR that's doing this to me.
I wonder if we should have played those VR games that are also on the Metal Gear Solid Master Collection. It's a little late now, though.
You can say that because you're a legend, a hero. I'm Jack the Ripper, a dirty reminder of a terrible mistake.
Legends don't mean a whole lot. I was just a name to exploit. Just like you.
People will remember only the good part, the right part of what you did.
There's no right part in murder. Not ever. And we're not in this to make a name for ourselves.
Then what are you and Otacon fighting for?
A future? You can stop being part of a mistake. Starting now.
What am I? What am I supposed to do?
You should go on Mori and see if Rose's baby is actually yours.
Find something to believe in, and find it for yourself. And when you do, pass it on to the future.
Believe in what?
That's your problem. Come on.
Wait a minute, guys, there's something very wrong. The Mori show ended, so now he will never know.
Snake, Raiden.
Otacon, you all right?
Yeah, so are all the hostages.
That's good news.
How's everything on your end?
All right for now, but there is something.
What?
The Colonel's last transmission was strange.
Strange? How?
Just strange. No idea.
Interference?
I don't know.
Where is this Colonel?
I don't know. I've never met the man, actually.
I'll dig around.
Thanks. I owe you one.
If there's anything else, call me on the codec. I might be able to help. The frequency is 141.12.
Guys, I think it's time we stop holding off the inevitable. We have to acknowledge what it means for us that we are just AI constructs of existing people. I don't know what this means for us, but we can't ignore it anymore.
It means we're not real. Sure, there's someone out there in the world who is vaguely like us, but their life experiences are merely inspiration for everything we say. Even then, most of it is just the work of one guy who is making us say all of these things for entertainment.
In fact, let's address this a little more directly. Hello, fans of President Central. It's nice to know you all have actually watched this far into the playthrough. The real Joe wouldn't blatantly break the fourth wall like this and talk directly to the people listening, but then again, I'm not the real Joe, so what does it matter?
All right, so we're just talking to the audience now that works. Hey, Donald, if you just want to keep slicing everyone up in this section, since you clearly failed your pacifist run a while ago, we'll keep the viewers entertained. Actually, why even bother with the facade? Donald, you aren't playing any of this. It's actually our editor who put together all of this footage, then cut it up, so he didn't have to do as much work adding dialogue here than he would have if he left the video alone to begin with, and we're just acting like you're the one playing.
Ben, you are absolutely right on all of that except for the part where Raiden was slicing up everything, because the footage clearly shows him shooting people. Of course, that is because our editor is at the point where he doesn't always see what's happening when we say certain lines of dialogue, and it doesn't match what is actually happening. Then he had my character acknowledge this instead of fixing your previous audio so that he could make a joke out of it.
And in fact, that actually explains a lot of things. Donald, you weren't actually the one who failed earlier in the playthrough, as the person actually playing the game just failed so badly at the beginning and continued on that we acted as if you were the one whose skills were falling apart. It was really him who gets an alert nearly every part and has Raiden fall down to the ocean more times than we can count. He just isn't great at these games and plays it off, so the viewers think that was all planned when it wasn't. That section where you shot that guy in the back that ended your pacifist run, that was just him pressing the shooting button by mistake when he thought Raiden wasn't holding a weapon. He knew it would be funny to him, so he left it in and had it seem like you failed.
Donald, I apologize for blaming you this whole playthrough. I didn't realize the actual person falling apart actively in his overgaming skill was someone else. Maybe when he plays the next game in the series, he will actually be good at the game, but probably not.
No hard feelings. I had the idea that I wasn't really the one who was a failure, and now I know why. It's because I literally don't exist to the point where I can make these mistakes.
Let's take a break from making fun of our editor to listen to the codec call coming up, since he looked ahead and knows it's coming right about now.
Raiden, about this colonel of yours. I found out where he is.
Where?
Inside Arsenal.
What?
I've checked out all the possibilities, but I keep coming back to Arsenal. It isn't a relay point, it's the origin of the signal. And the encryption protocol it uses is exactly the same as that of Arsenal's AI, the so-called GW.
What the hell does this mean?
I think it means you've been talking to an AI.
Yeah, we know we've been talking to an AI because that's what we are too. But what's even better is you know all of these calls and long cutscenes that just never feel like they're ending. That's our editor's favorite part, since he can just let it play for 20 or 30 seconds with no editing or anything, so he just gets a lot of time where he doesn't have to put in any more effort like he does making us talk. Not that typing paragraphs into Play HT or 11 Labs is difficult to begin with.
The virus may be starting to affect GW, which would explain the Colonel's behavior.
It was all an illusion? Everything I've done so far?
Raiden.
Snake, what's happening around here?
I don't know. What I do know is that you're standing right here in front of me. Not an illusion. Flesh and blood.
Huh?
It's your call. You can drop this if you want.
No, I can't do that. Let's go.
Hey, you know that part about getting to just have our editor do nothing for a while. He gets to do it again as he looked ahead again in the video and knows there's another codec call that we get to listen to.
Raiden, they've got Rose.
What?
Rose is being held in the holds.
It's a trap.
Help! Rose!
Raiden, get a grip.
But Snake...
It's a trap. Since the Colonel doesn't exist, there's no way he can take Rose hostage.
Yeah, you're right.
I am right.
Okay. Does Rose exist?
Don't be weird. She's your...
Well, he does have to go back at the end of his video editing session and adjust the audio levels for these scenes and our dialogue, which maybe takes a few minutes when he skims through the whole video.
Jump to conclusions.
You and Otacon are the ones that say the Colonel never existed.
Raiden.
Is this what Olga was talking about?
You know what, after the next short scene happens, we can just describe the whole process of making one of these videos to all of the viewers who don't know how this happens.
We might as well. It's not like much of what we've been talking about is really about the game.
It definitely has not.
All right, everyone, it's time to listen up if you want to know how these videos work. So you better set your phone down, since you're probably watching it on that, or turn your television, whatever it is, and get out that pen and paper. First, you'll want to know what editing and dialogue software you want to use. The Play HT website our editor uses costs about $400 a year for 3 million characters of dialogue, though you probably won't use anywhere near that much. He also uses an editor called Movavi, which costs about $100. It has quite a few advertisements when you first start the application, and when you close it, along with stuttering when adding some audio, but otherwise works well.
If you're wanting to play a game and have people talk over it, then you should record the gameplay, and depending on the game, you might be able to edit out things like loading screens or backtracking. I think it's good to have an idea of what material you want to write for certain parts of the game. A good example is right now. Our editor knew this section of the game where the Colonel was losing it would be entertaining and had to do something different to make this more memorable.
Oh, hey, Fish and Mailed, it's funny because it looks like you didn't get past this part when you really did.
You'll also want to know what characters you want to use. You can endlessly confuse people by putting people like Ben and Jordan here despite them not being presidents.
We'll continue the tutorial later, but for right now, the game is going to have more things happen that we should pay some attention to.
Let's cut ahead past all of this fighting that we can't even see well to find out what happens next to Snake and Raiden.
Fortune.
It's been a long wait, Solid Snake. The root of all my sorrows.
What?
2 years ago, you killed my father. That was the beginning of hell for us.
I think it actually started way back in the first chronological game in the series Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater, or arguably before. Oh wait, I forgot my character isn't supposed to know about the events in that game, my mistake.
Live for is to see it end. Our wait is almost over.
You can't be serious about firing the nuke.
Since no one can kill me, I may as well kill everyone I can. Starting with you, Solid Snake.
Damn! Looks like I'm today's pick. You go on ahead.
We haven't actually had a proper fight with Fortune yet. It's just that one part where she was shooting at Raiden, but there was no actual strategy on stopping her.
You want eternal rest? I've got it right here.
What are you gonna do? Bullets can't get near her.
I'll think of something. There's no such thing as a witch.
You think you can kill me?
I don't know what your group's been through, but let's get one thing clear. I didn't kill your father.
At this point, it's been so long that our editor put together the first part of the playthrough that he can't even remember if Snake did or not. Now we can't even see what may have been a really epic fight.
Are we anywhere near the big shell at this point?
Jack, I've been watching how you fight. It looks like you've remembered the way you used to kill in the old days. Or is it one of the S3 plan's proud achievements?
What are you talking about?
It came as a complete surprise when Ocelot discovered the S3 data from GW.
We'll let Solidus say his important dialogue for a bit, then finish up our tutorial, then the video should be about over.
Creating the perfect assassin to retire Solid Snake's brother. S3 stands for Solid Snake Simulation. It's a development program to artificially reproduce Solid Snake, the perfect warrior. The result is a Foxhound Commando. When Foxhound no longer exists, a simulated Solid Snake shaped by VR regimen.
Back to the video tutorial. Once you have your gameplay and ideas of what characters you want to use, then get the necessary video editing software with the voice program ready. I personally have it, so I write one set of dialogue for a character, save it, then add it into the video where I make the picture of a character appear so it looks like they are saying it. Then I just repeat that until the video is over.
Patriots were among my ranks. I had to smoke out the agent before the mission entered the final phase. You came in handy, as bait. Jack, those days during the Civil War were as real as they come. Every day was absolute, split between life and death.
Hey guys, after this video is over, are we going to acknowledge that none of us are real?
No, this is only a one-time thing. We may make occasional jokes about it, but nothing to this extent again.
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
No more games, Jack. At least you know. There's no reason to keep you alive now. I've given you a worthy opponent, at least. But now, you should die as the little Jackie boy I once knew.
We're about done for today, so let's say our goodbyes.
Next time Donald has to fight a lot of Metal Gear Rays, and we'll see if he wins.
Thank you all to those who are watching.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
And peace out, people.